into some of the highlights from January of 2024. First thing we have to talk about is Katt Williams on Club Shay Shay and how he totally went like that so Raven and predicted the future of this year. That's so Katt, you know?
That's
crazy.
So Katt. I love it. Yeah. I think honestly, this interview is like, I mean, we all know Shannon Sharp, like he had a platform before this, but I feel like that interview like propelled Club Shay Shay into like kind of this really huge mainstream thing. So
definitely did.
Yeah.
Definitely
So
did.
it was pretty cool to see for Shannon. But the way Katt legit predicted, everybody has gotten exposed. People who have done wrongdoing is like fucking around and finding out. Like he said 2024 was going to be the year of truth, and boy, was it.
Boy. Was
full
it?
Truth.
Oh my gosh.
Full truth.
There has definitely been some things this year that have gone down that I have just never expected to go down. And obviously we're going to talk about them, but Katt, he did that. Like, is there some type of award for like best prediction of the year or something? Like, it has to go to Katt Williams because he absolutely, like, it'll be fun to like go back and rewatch his Club Shay Shay episode to really get a refresh on everything he said and just to see how much of that truly came to fruition, because it put Club Shay Shay on the map, and it just predicted the future of this year for sure. So
yeah, it just completely blew up. But yeah, shout out to Katt. I feel like he just kind of opened our world to people being truthful and all that good stuff. But thank you, I guess.
I know.
Up until November, thank you.
Exactly. I agree. Okay, the next big thing was that Gypsy Rose was released from prison, and that was pretty huge. If you are familiar with the Gypsy Rose case, I'm not gonna recap it. We talked about it on the episode in January, I'm sure. But also just do a little bit of research because she has had quite a crazy year. We're gonna talk about some other stuff with her later on as well. But her being free set a lot of crazy stuff into motion for this year too. And she has had a crazy year.
The D is fire. I can't believe that was January.
She did say that. And then she left him for her ex. Wow.
Guess that was fire too.
I guess it wasn't fire enough. I guess it was not fire enough. Okay. Oh, Gypsy Rose. Yeah, her on social media has been so wild, and it's just such a cautionary tale to other people who might potentially be like in the limelight for one reason or another. The limelight in social media is not for everybody, and it's okay to stay off. It is
especially not for somebody who's been basically away since social media has been social media.
Exactly.
She's been in jail ever since, the world as social media as we know it is. Yeah.
Ever since, and she's also been like famous and kind of in the limelight her entire life without even her own doing having anything to do with that. So yeah, she, it's going to be interesting to see what Gypsy Rose has in store for next year, because we'll get back to her. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened in January too. Halle and DDG announced their baby after a very secret, not so secret pregnancy. I'm gonna be honest. The way Halle tried to cover up and like lied about being pregnant, I started to believe that she really wasn't pregnant. I really did.
Same. Like, I feel like definitely was gaslit into believing it. I get her reasoning behind it. Like, she has the right to keep her pregnancy, her giving life private. I understand it, but damn, was we gaslight to believe that she wasn't pregnant. We really was, but I still stand behind, like, I'm all for if the person isn't telling me that they're pregnant, then they're not.
Exactly. It's none of my business until they make it my business, for sure. And you know what? I think had Halle been in a relationship with a different person with a different job, I think it would have been way easier for her to keep it private how she wanted to and not having to like blatantly lie about it. Because like, you know, DDG's whole job is being a streamer. So he literally lied about it. Like he literally like verbatim said she is not pregnant, this is not happening. Whereas like, say if he had a different job and he could have just ignored it. Like I kind of feel like that almost would have been a better route to go. Obviously not trying to police them or tell them how they could have did this, but I think totally ignoring it and not acknowledging it is a little bit better than like blatantly straight up having to lie about it. Because then once it was out there, you know, a lot of people were not very nice and people took it very, very personally being like blatantly lied to. But, you know, they had their reasons and she has every right to keep her pregnancy private. But, you know, little baby Halo is the absolute freaking cutest. They showed his face after a few months and now he all over social media thanks to DDG. He's precious.
Thanks to DDG.
Yeah.
I hope we don't talk about him no more.
We don't.
Okay, good.
We don't. Because first of all, DDG and he likes to clap back, and we don't have time to have no internet wars.
He likes to try. I will say
his fan base. He does like to try.
He likes to try, but yeah. Shout out to Baby Halo.
There we go.
An image of Haley. Holly.
I mean, is it Haley or Holly? Yeah, the eyes. It's all in the eyes. Yeah. He looks exactly like Haley.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, I can't believe this happened in January. It felt like it was a lot more recent than what it was for some reason. But the Meg versus Nikki beef, and I even notated on here that Nikki lost because I didn't want to forget. Yeah, that was wild. That was a time. Nikki got very, very below the belt and very dirty, and it didn't work for her, unfortunately. And the Barbs did that also, which is to be expected from them. And it just, I think this was the beginning of the Young Money fall from grace.
For sure. Definitely the bid
for the year.
And remembering correctly, Meg dropped his and that was it. She ain't even respond back to none of Nikki's stuff, ain't acknowledge it, ain't say nothing. So a fine example of just it's being silent and ignoring it.
Right.
Just, you can allow people to crash out.
And crash out. She did. And crash out. She absolutely did. The Barbs crashed out. I mean, I think the smartest thing Nikki has done since then, just a kind of glimpse into the future, is to fall back and to just chill, which other people in Young Money should have done as well, but we're going to get to that.
Although she poked her little head out a little bit in the future regarding the other Young Money folks, but I can never forgive Nikki for the mom stuff.
I know. It was gross. Disgusting. It was really, really gross. Because you, first of all, you know it's not true. And second of all, it's just unnecessary. It was just it just lets you know like that was really the only thing that she kind of had.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's not worth is it really worth your legacy and your reputation to like go that low just to hurt somebody? Like
to her, I guess it is.
Right.
Literally ruining her legacy by being a hater.
Literally. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you know, the reason for them having so much beef is because really it was a one-sided beef for a very long time. Like Meg really didn't like play into it that much. And at least to me, it has never been super clear why Nikki hated Meg so much besides just being a hater and not wanting to compete with anybody else. You know, like she's never is really super nice to the rap girls.
Allegedly it's because Meg was trying to force her to drink.
Oh yeah, when she was pregnant or something like that,
which I don't think Meg knew that she was pregnant. Maybe it wasn't, you know, public knowledge at that point.
But then, like, even that seems like such a wild reason to turn into like this like whole beef. But I guess, you know, people like Nicki Minaj, I guess, didn't really need much of a reason. But that feels crazy, especially if she didn't know.
It feels like a cop out. It feels like you was hating on her rise, and
that's what
she finally
I think
did something to like.
And that was your excuse. Yeah, and that was just your excuse to just lose your mind. But not cute.
Not cute. It's not cool.
Okay, also the one of the first examples of the Keith Lee effect going terribly wrong because people who were the recipients of it didn't deserve it. The whole Sweetly Seasoned situation where Keith visited this family-owned business, actually really liked the food. They got the Keith Lee glow up, they got the attention, they got the customers, and they quite literally fumbled the bag being greedy.
Yeah.
And got exposed for their greed and their selfishness. And I mean, they went from having lines wrapped around the building to like nobody there within like a couple days.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sad that they let this large amount of money. I think it's like what, $4,000. She was supposed to keep two. One was supposed to go to the hair barber. Another 1,000 supposed to go to the hairstylist or somebody else helping her out that does hair or whatever. And they let $4,000 really cloud their judgment. Because I mean, if you just would have did the right thing, and on top of that, the hairstylist was just like, just pay my brother. You can have my 1,000. So they would have got 3,000. And I don't know if these are right numbers. I'm just going off of memory, but they really let that large in quotes, I guess, large to them chunk of money. Like they let something that they had right now cloud their judgment for the money that they could potentially be making in the future.
1,000%. Exactly.
A lot of these restaurants that get this Keith Lee effect, it's not just a one-off thing. Like it blows them up. Like they continue to make money after money after money off of Keith Lee visiting them once, and putting it out there. So they really let that $4,000.
Yeah. And I get it. I get that, sometimes times is hard and you get a come up and you just maybe, I don't know, you just aren't thinking, but this is why you need to always be thinking, because like you said, like they let a decent amount of money right now you stop a huge bag for the future potential of this restaurant. Because I remember it was a whole thing where they were getting flooded with negative Google reviews. They were having to change their name and all that. Like this was a huge case of the Keith Lee effect just going terribly wrong. And it was literally all because of their own behavior, something that was totally avoidable. And honestly, I think this was worse than getting a bad food review. I think you can recover better from getting a bad food review than you can with people thinking that you're greedy and selfish and that you're trying to take advantage of Lee and these other people who are just trying to help you out. Like you can't recover from that. And I don't think they have.
I definitely don't think they have. Because it's one thing to be like, oh, Keith Lee didn't like my food. Like Keith Lee, at the end of the day, it's his taste buds, it's his opinion. You could like something that he doesn't like. But when you are showing your ass and looking like somebody greedy and trying to get over on somebody, like people don't like that. People don't want to support that.
Agreed. Yeah. Totally agree. So I don't know what's going on with Sweetly Season now. I ain't heard about them really. It's probably good for them, but this was definitely a cautionary tale for other restaurants. Like, just do the right thing. Like Keith Lee coming to visit you and putting you, on his social media platform and talking good about your food and stuff. Like that is a great thing, and great things are gonna come for you if you are deserving for it. And if you're not, you're gonna show your ass and you're gonna fumble your own bag. And that's literally what happened to them. Literally.
Yeah. One of the first examples of the year of what Katt was saying. Truth coming out. Like, I just don't think the owners or owner is just a genuinely nice person. They literally just was like, here's a come up and I'm gonna run with it.
So, Agreed.
Unfortunately, they didn't get the benefit off of that effect.
Not at all. As far as the planner community goes, the big thing that happened last January was the Go Wild Dallas speaker announcement. And obviously we're going to talk about, just Go Wild Dallas in general once we get to March, or was it April, once we get to April.
But March or April.
Right. A highlight for sure for me was Martha freaking Stewart. Like that was so cool. Just knowing that we were going to be hearing from Martha Stewart and at the same location as Martha Stewart. Like that was just so beyond cool.
Yeah. I'm gonna just say I thought it was freaking cool to have our names on the same like marquee as Martha Stewart. I think that's freaking dope.
Very cool. That was
Who can
very
say
cool as well. And we also had a V from Under the Desk News. They were announced as well. And that was so exciting because I have been following them for a while on social media, and just to know that we were going to get to hear from them, very, very cool. Very cool. And Amanda Rachel Lee too. I love her.
Yeah, it was a really good lineup.